got some new gear in. What could it be? It's new mirrors, of course. In my last video, I said I was still on the hunt for some new mirrors, and after hours of research, I'm confident to say I have probably seen 95% plus of all the possible mirrors and mirror modifications you can do for your FZ09. And let me start this by saying, by no means do you have to spend the kind of money that these things cost, which was 180 bucks, and that was a deal. Most places had these for more than 200. Man, mirror options to solve your problem, it varies from 15 bucks to 300 bucks, and I'm not exaggerating. I'll go through some of the different options out there and why I chose these, and no, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that anything less is worse quality. Here's the thing, I had certain criteria for choosing my mirrors, and there was a very short list at the end of exactly which mirrors fit the bill. So I went with the Rizoma Reverse Retros in black, and let me take you through my criteria for why these ended up being the ones that I got. Let me pull them out of the box here. First of all, first impressions, they are about half the size as far as the mirror volume as the OEMs. I'll give you side by side here as we go through. They look beautiful, very basic. That's what I was going for. So first of all, they have to be functional. This is how I chose what I chose. My main goal here was to get a better sight picture, because when I'm on the bike, you guys can't see it in the camera, but half my OEM mirrors are taken up by my arm. I'm a big guy, I'm a wide guy. So I really needed several inches more width to get the mirrors out past my arm so I could see anything behind me, period. So that's my number one goal. Number two, I didn't want to alter the vibration of the bars, or at least as little as possible. So I didn't want to replace the stock OEM bar ends. Like I said in the last video, I would have preferred to go with some kind of stock mounted option. However, it just simply wasn't in the cards. So I did go with these clamp-on bar end mirrors, and these will, at least on paper, work with the stock bar ends. So I don't have to remove them, I don't have to replace them. I'm trying to figure out how to pop this out. I guess it's just kind of press fit. Yep, all right. Make sure there's nothing else here. So that's just a plastic case. I wanted to maintain the bar ends for vibration purposes. So I do have another option if I do have too much vibration here. Rizoma does make special replacement bar ends that are lighter than stock to help compensate for the added weight of these hanging off the ends of your bars. But we'll see if I need them. You don't know until you try, basically. They had to be high quality. I am not a fan of buying anything if it's going to be less than stellar. With mirrors, I simply want a clear sight picture. I don't want them to be vibrating. I want to set them and forget them. That's it. The only time I touch my mirrors is if I've washed them and I've bumped it out of place or something like that. Other than that, I want to forget about them. I just want them to work. They're tools. So, no plastic parts. These are all metal. Everything is beautiful. I didn't want cheap fasteners. There are a lot of cheaper mirrors out there that you basically have to replace all the fasteners as soon as you get them because they're cheap Chinese metal and they're going to rust, or they're mismatched. These are nice anodized black all the way around. I've got two Allens here for adjustments. This is solid. It has a pretty good heft, although these are touted to be on the lighter side for what they are. And they are very small. Like I said, I'll show you a side-by-side when I take the OEMs off. Other than that, it was down to looks. I wanted something very plain, very basic. I wasn't interested in the kinds that had the more intricate bars with the designs and all that kind of good stuff, or multiple colors. I wanted just straight black. I wanted it to look stock. These certainly fit that bill. These are very close to what I was going for in my goal of the new Street Triple mirrors. Now these particular ones can be mounted in many different configurations. Since they do just clamp onto your bar ends, they can be over or under your bars. and this mirror can go in or out. I'm probably going to run mine out since I need that extra width, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get them installed. It's super easy, and see how they look. So with the OEM stock mounted here, like I said, I don't mind the looks at all. I'm not crazy about the antenna configuration, but they look great. The mirror itself looks great. They are solid. They don't have any vibration, and it's fine. I didn't have any problem with this. Now, there are some other options that can modify your OEM mirrors, and this might work for you if you're on the smaller side. Like I said, I'm a big guy, I'm a wide guy. I needed this mirror really to start at the end of the bars. So I needed a good 5 or 6 inches on each side to do what I need to do to the sight picture. One option out there is to get a extender for the stock itself, and they do sell them, but they only go a couple inches. And this is up at an angle. If it was a couple inches straight out, if this was a 90-degree angle with the bars, maybe that would be okay. But up at an angle, you're really only pushing it out an inch or so, and that just doesn't do it. So I didn't consider that at all. There are other mirror extenders out there that go in between this base and your bar. And it's basically a zigzag piece. It's a piece of metal, a bar, that just screws into here and basically moves this mount over here. The problem is, they, in my opinion, are ugly as heck. It's just a big zigzag piece, so your mirror ends up doing this. Not a fan, and it really only pushes it out again a couple inches. But man, the looks of that is just terrible. That is going in the opposite direction for me. But they are very inexpensive. They're like 15-20 bucks for a pair. So if you're not that concerned about looks, or if you like that, or you don't mind it, or whatever, that is a great option for easily extending your mirrors. So consider those for very functional, low-cost options before you replace the mirrors themselves. Pretty much all the aftermarket mirrors that bolted directly on, they were the same size or shorter. This OEM configuration, the amount of mirror you have out at the extremes, is one of the widest options, period. So just replacing it with another stock option wasn't in the cards for me. That's basically just for looks. So starting with the bar ends, most of them have their own bar end piece that they clamp to because they're designed for a smaller diameter. These are just over an inch in diameter, the OEMs. So finding a set that is able to clamp onto them is a very short list. The Rizomas, thankfully, they fit all my criteria for looks and function, and they should be just big enough to fit on this. But like I said, if I do have too much vibration from the weight difference, they do have their own replacement set that goes in to help tame that. So that's an option, and that's only another 50 bucks for their set, so not a big deal considering the mirrors are almost 200. To take these off, you need a 17 mil open-end wrench, and before you go buy one, check your bike toolkit because it might be in there. A lot of them are going to have that. If you're concerned about your finish, because this will be damaged quite easily from a wrench, put some black electrical tape inside your wrench or around this outer diameter, just a single layer, and that will help protect this finish. Or you can just touch it up with some black gloss paint. Walmart carries a little touch-up pen of it in the auto section for like $4. It also works great on your black wheels, by the way, if you nick them from changing your tires. If you touch your calipers to them or whatever, they very easily will get a little nick. So this is a normal thread on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is a reverse thread. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, normally on the left side, but we're gonna go righty-loosey on the right side. And these are often pretty darn tight. You may need a little persuasion to help on your wrench. And there we go. So let's check these out size-wise. Here's your OEM. Here's the Rizoma. So you can see a very stark size comparison. But as long as this is giving me a good sight picture, this is all you need. This is the same size I had on the bobber. and all I need to see is the road behind me. With this OEM, sure, you've got a ton of glass surface, but half of it's taken up by you. It doesn't do any good. So it's really, in the end, about the same. You're seeing about the same traffic size. So no worries there. Now over here on the left side, this surface here has nice paint. There's really nothing I need to do to it. If you want to cover up this hole, this is actually a Yamaha part. This is off my FJR. And it's just a little plastic or rubberish cap that fills the hole. I'll put the part number to this down below. If you want to plug these holes very inexpensively, you can order these online from any of the online part sources or just order it from your dealer, whatever. Not too expensive. Now over here on the right, for whatever reason, they didn't paint the surface. It's just got a little residual paint. So I will go ahead and scuff that up and paint it just to protect it from any future corrosion. Not getting into the threads, but just to seal the top. Or you could use clear nail polish or whatever you want, just to get some type of protection on that bare metal. And then I'll put another cap on here. Just have to order those. Now in the box we're given a wide variety of hardware, and these are designed to mount on all kinds of different bar and end configurations. You can mount them directly to bars, you can mount them to the end weights, you can replace the end weights, whatever you need to do. For my application, the FZ09, they give you this tiny little sleeve, and that simply fits in your mirror, and it perfectly matches the diameter of your stock end weights. So now this can go directly on the stock bike. To get an absolutely perfect fit, I do need to sand down one of these edges just a smidge. I mean just a hair, so that this will fit perfectly flush inside the mirror. Right now there's just a hair of overlap. So that'll just take a couple minutes of quick and easy sanding. And now we can slide the new mirror gently over the stock weight, and it's a perfect fit. And now we can position it however we want. I know I want mine vertical, and it only takes up about a ½ inch of width, so you can put them more towards the end of the weight or more towards the grip. I'm going to put mine just towards the outside because these grips are on the small side to begin with, and I've got big hands, so they do hang over just a wee bit. So I'll go right to the edge of the flat portion here. We have a single Allen that we're going to snug down, and then we can actually position the mirror. So I've got this tightened down in the position I want. I'll match the other side when I mount it. Basically I have my mirror and the bar directly vertical, so this has a little bit of a cant forward and then a cant backwards. Just looks nice. You can do yours however you like. I'm using a 5mm Allen that both tightens the top and bottom mounts. You do need considerable force on here to start pinching this metal to get this taut. So use a good quality Allen. Don't try to use a ball end. Use a solid fitting Allen in here so you don't start to strip it. So I'm going to loosen the top one here. And it is quite tight from the factory. You don't need any Loctite or anything like that. So here I've got the choice of putting the mirror towards the inside or towards the outside. Now what I'm going to do right now is get on the bike and see which looks better to me. This may be far enough out because it is several inches more. Remember, the stock mirrors really stopped about here. So all of this is new. This may be enough where I can not have to increase the overall width of the bike, and this might work great. But if I do need to, I can always do this, and it only extends out another 3 to 4 inches from the stock bars. Either way is acceptable to me, and either way looks fine. I do prefer this slightly, but it's not a deal breaker. So after getting on the bike, I had to do two things. Number one, I had to rotate this much more forward. This was almost vertical before, and that was because there wasn't enough pivot in the mirror itself to get a sight picture. I was looking at the ground. So this is just forward enough where I have a good bit of rotational direction in the mirror, and I did have to go towards the outside. With it towards the outside in this position, it is absolutely perfect. Now remember, I'm a wide guy. In my normal riding position, I see nothing but behind me. If it was just here, I would start to see my arm. So this is just wide enough, and just far forward enough where it's giving me a 100% clear sight picture. Absolutely perfect. And you know what? It looks great. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other side. We'll see what it looks like on the bike, and I'll take it for a quick ride. I'll do some fine adjustment on the road, but here she is all roughed in. Does dramatically change the look of the bike for sure. And it does add a little bit of width. But I'm used to a wider bike anyway. If you do a lot of lane splitting, you might have to reconsider this option, but so far I dig it. Let's see how it does on the road.
Time for the test. I do have to remember these are a little wider. Don't nick the car. Not a big deal though. I'm going to go ahead and adjust these right now before I start riding. Ooh, cool. I didn't know that these have a slight blue tint to them. Probably for anti-glare. That looks really nice. I love that. Neighbor Tim here across the street came over and wanted to know if I heard a bunch of construction racket this morning at 6, which is very early for construction. That looks pretty darn good right there. Apparently there's a new dump site, a private company dump site right at the end of the neighborhood here. And they were loading up concrete into dump trucks and clanging and banging, and that's not good to have anything like that around the neighborhood. You've got dust and debris, especially on the road, especially for motorcyclists. Go take a look. I haven't been by there in several days. I don't know what they've been building. So what I'm testing for right now is, obviously the sight picture is good. Don't have to worry about that. Oh man, these are great. I see everything behind me perfectly. That is fantastic. And I want to check out vibration both on the bars and the mirrors themselves. Take your time, Grandpa. Holy moly. So I'm going to ride at different RPMs here. If I see any discernible difference in bar vibration, I will go ahead and change my weights. And I can already feel a vibration in my left hand. Oh, bummer. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about. Look at all this gravel and crap right here. And there it is. Oh, this is bullshit. I don't think so. This is terrible. We've got broken tiles, bits of debris. I don't know what all this is. It looks like broken up concrete. It's not landscaping gravel. It's actually broken debris. That's really nice. Odds on them cleaning it up, about 0. Yep, they're turning it into a gravel pit, basically. That is going to suck for anybody going down this road. So let me get up into the different RPMs here. Not so much a difference on the right hand. I'm trying to look at the RPMs here to tell you what I'm feeling. Right about 4,000 RPM, I definitely have a pretty good vibration going in the left hand. We'll get some speed going on this road here, and yeah, between 4 and 5 especially, quite noticeable. So I will definitely be ordering different bar ends. I already know that. But I'll go ahead and continue through here and check out different RPMs just to let you guys know. So let's test the different RPMs here. I'm at 7. Above 7, it's totally normal, nice and smooth. So it's only in the lower RPM registers, coming down to 5 now, and now it's just starting on the left hand. What RPMs am I at just cruising around? 3. Perfectly smooth at 3. Good at 4. Yeah, it's definitely centered at 5,000 RPM. I don't know, maybe it's not that big of a deal, because it really is a very short range. If it was a broad range, wouldn't hesitate to change something, but it's really, I'd say, between 4.5 and 5.5, with it peaking at 5. So it's a very short range. Absolutely nothing in the upper register and absolutely nothing below it. So you know what? I'm going to keep it just as is. it's going to be such a short time going through that RPM. I don't hold it in that range for my normal riding. If I'm cruising, I go up into top gear, and I'm well below that unless I'm on the freeway. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go up here to the next light and very quickly run up to 70, 80 in top gear to see what RPM I'm at, because I don't remember what RPM this actually cruises at. If that's the case, then yes, that is an absolute deal breaker. The sight picture in the mirrors themselves is rock steady. It's actually better than OEM, surprisingly. The OEMs are very good. You had just a very slight amount of blurring when cruising. They didn't shake bad enough where you couldn't see out of them or anything like that. But these are like, it's not even moving. It's really uncanny. Do a real quick little burst here. And unfortunately, about 4,800, 4,900, 5,000 right at cruising speed. And I do have a little vibration blurring in the left-hand mirror, and I do feel it a little bit in my left hand. I know enough that that would put my hand to sleep after a while. It's not shaking anything apart, but it is a high frequency vibration, and that's not going to fly. So yes, I will definitely be ordering the new Rizoma bar end weights, and we'll see if that gets rid of it. So there you go, guys. Overall, absolutely love the mirrors. The results are perfect. I love the way they look. Now, as soon as I get rid of that vibration, I'll be in it for about $235. Not cheap, but you know what? It works. Hope this helps somebody. See you guys next time.